Sri Lanka's history and archaeology. I don't know. Not yet. Oh, sorry. He's still working on it. I'm predicting the future as a science fiction writer. He is Vice President of the Sri Lanka Numismatic Society and the Archaeological Society of Sri Lanka, and he's the Executive Committee member of the Royal Asiatic Society of Sri Lanka and a trustee of the National Trust. He has also not worn a suit since 1979, when Dr. Clarke came to his wedding dressed not in a suit, but in the Sri Lankan national dress. Everyone, Dr. Kavan Ratnatunga.
Thank you for inviting me. And I thought I will start by talking a bit about Clarke and my association with him before I get on to the topic of English. Okay, great. So Clarke was basically most famous for his prediction of geocentric geostationary satellites. And a letter that he wrote in 1945 to the February issue of the Wireless World, he sort of told that, and then in subsequent paper in October 1945, he sort of explored more about the concept. The concept basically became a reality in 20 years. So this is not science fiction, this is sort of pretty much predicting the future just after the Second World War, which I think is pretty impressive. And that's what his claim for fame. Basically, the orbit, 22,237 miles from the surface of the Earth, has been officially named the Clarke orbit by the International Astronomical Union. So that's the orbit, and let me talk a bit about that. So this is the Wireless World of 1945 February, and that's him reading a copy of this issue. So that one, he sort of explored the basic ideas of using pulsars. The next one, which is the famous issue of October 1945. Interestingly, after I really didn't know about the February 1945, I've forgotten about the February 1945 issue, which was brought up to him sometime later in the late 60s. So this one is the famous issue, and it talked about extraterrestrial relays, which was basically when you go, if the orbit increases, the orbital period is longer, and you come to a certain distance where the orbital period is exactly 1 day. So if the satellite is on the equator, it basically stays fixed with respect to the observer. And that's why you can point your dial dish towards some direction and get signal from that without tracking a satellite. Any other satellite at any other orbit would have to be tracked. That was his prediction in 45, and he said if there are 3 of these satellites, then they can communicate and you can have worldwide communication. So each satellite covering a very large portion of the Earth was required. It became reality in 1964. August 19th, there was a launch of Silicon 3, and it was the first geostationary satellite which stood on top of the international dateline and telecast the 1964 Summer Olympics from Tokyo to the US. So that was from 1945 prediction to reality in 1964, which is pretty amazing. And that was historical figure. So if you look at what the Clarke orbit now is, that ring that you see is with more satellites than in the other places. This is a sort of a plot of all the satellites at some point of time, and the ring you see is what is known as the Clarke orbit. So that's why most of the satellites are pretty close by, and most of them. So Clarke really started writing. He was a scientist. He sort of wrote science fiction. This is his first book that he published in Astounding Science Fiction in April 1946 and May 1946. He was an astronomer. That's how I got to know him. He was pretty much interested in astronomy. So one of the things that he did in Sri Lanka was in June 1959, he founded the Ceylon Astronomical Association, which is somewhat sort of based at the moment, with myself supposed to be president, but the activity is purely internet now, not we don't meet monthly. But during the 60s, we used to meet monthly. At that actually got by meeting others interested in your field of study. So you basically went once a month to the Lincoln Auditorium, and the USIS used to bring movies of the all the space racers, space launchers of Apollo, Mercury, Gemini, and there used to be screen there, and we used to have a Astronomical Society meeting there, and basically that made some of us interested in astronomy, to do astronomy as a topic. So this is my photograph of the first interaction I met when I met Arthur Clarke in Radio Ceylon in June 1969. I must have met him before, but that was the first time. So why was Arthur, did he get interested in Sri Lanka? So somewhere around 1954, Arthur, on his way to the Great Barrier Reef in Australia, stopped over in Sri Lanka for a few days. After returning to Ceylon in 1956, he wrote to a good friend that he felt home in Ceylon and liked the people and the climate and the cost of living. I guess he was not as rich at that time. Even a year on the Great Barrier Reef did not unlock the doors of memory. Not until I came to Ceylon did I fall in love with an exquisite arc of beach on the island's south coast and decided to establish my home there. And that place is this place, Unawatuna. I presume all of you all have visited there. And that was when it was nice. Unfortunately, it's not so nice now. So he wrote in his book that in the drab chill on northern beach on which I had so often shivered through an English summer was merely a pale reflection of an ultimate and long unsuspected beauty. Like the three princesses of Serendip, I had found more than I was seeking in Serendip itself. 10,000 kilometers from the place I was born, I had come home. So that really his love of diving and his love. And why he liked diving was that that was what, as he considered, the next best thing to weightlessness or space. And he advocated that, and in fact he was one of the people who really advocated the people who are training to go into space to use underwater diving to train themselves. So a lot of the, when somebody, astronaut is getting ready to repair a satellite or something in space, they will do simulations of that whole experiment and then using the tools underwater in very big swimming pools so that they can actually get used to working in weightlessness. So this is also another quote I really like, which says, and always is the same, the slender palm trees leaning over the white sand, the warm sparkling on the waves that they break the inshore reef, the outrigger fishing boats drawn up high on the beach. This alone is real, the rest is but a dream from which I am presently away. So he really was in love with Sri Lanka, and no doubt that the reason that after in 1956 he sort of settled here and he lived more than 50 years of his life, so more than half of his life was lived in Sri Lanka. So let me now go to talk a bit about the Barrier Reef and what the treasure that it was found. The Great Basses Reef, which is off, and the Little Basses is off Kirinda. I have not been there, but that's one of the places which has a lighthouse because it's pretty treacherous, and ships that used to go past to the southern coast of Sri Lanka, that was a place where they used to meet their doom if they got washed in. So that was a place which had sort of wrecks, and Clarke was visitors photographs of the Great Basses Reef. I don't think, have anybody of you? I think it's a popular swimming, diving site, but other than that, I have not. I don't think there's a lot of us have seen. There's a lighthouse on the southern coast, and these are some photographs that I got from the Maritime Archaeology Unit, which has done some research. There's some research there. And that's a photograph of the lighthouse. So Arthur Clarke and Mike Wilson, which was Arthur Clarke's collaborator, were making a film out there in 1961, and they were just filming, fish going through their hoops and doing various crazy things. They had names for each one of these large fish that groupies that they used to find there. And then during that time, they actually discovered treasure, and this was the treasure that I'm going to talk about. It was the first time in Sri Lanka that treasure has been found in the oceans, and it started the field of maritime archaeology in Sri Lanka. Before that, there was no maritime archaeology, and therefore there were actually no rules controlling maritime archaeology around the early 1960s. So the treasure was there. Okay, so I'd like to actually show the video.
Peter Throckmorton, my present partner Hector Economica, and several members of our crew back to the Great Basses Reef. When I went to the reef in the '63, I was still recovering from the total paralysis I had in 1962, which you now realize was polio, though that was diagnosed probably at the time. And so I was very weak, and I was okay in the water, but there's a powerful surge there, and I was caught in the surge, and thought I had it. I remember I was holding a hammer, and I was holding the hammer up, I was being banged away to the reef and using the hammer as a shock absorber. And then I realized I was to drop the hammer and swim as fast as I could to get away. Later that afternoon in 1963, I managed to pluck up enough courage to get back into the water for a bird's eye view of the actual salvage operation. A nearby line was secured to a bag on the bottom, which the divers were filling with silver. To my delight, I soon discovered that I could pull myself down within a few yards of the action and hover effortlessly for considerable periods of time, well, maybe 30 seconds. This experience had a most profound effect. I was watching something which, I suppose, not more than a handful of living men have seen: the lifting of treasure from the seabed at the actual moment of discovery. Unfortunately, weather conditions on the reef only permitted a few safe diving days every year, so the glittering treasure was sealed away courtesy of Mother Nature. And this would be the last time I would ever dive on the Great Basses Reef. Mike Wilson soon formed a religious calling, became a monk, and over the next few years, I got involved with Stanley Kubrick in a little movie which you may have heard, 2001, The Space Odyssey. As I wrote the accounts of the discovery in Indian Ocean treasure and the later book, The Treasure of the Great Reef, through 1963 and 64, big chests containing the coins remained in the corner of my office. From time to time, to reassure myself of its reality, I'd open the lid and gaze into the lumps of silver. Out of this box there always came a curious metallic tang, as of iodine seaweed, not at all unpleasant. Even today, it's one of the most evocative smells I know, bringing back vivid memories of the sea and of spray-drenched rocks glistening beneath the equatorial sun. This is the scent of treasure. In 1963,
Okay, so that's quite interesting because that's archaeologists talking about the treasure that they found in 1961, discovered in 62, and they went back 2 years later to do a recovery. So these are actually photographs from 1963 at the time of recovery. Soon after the treasure was found, they're sort of looking into this. This is a sort of conglomerate of all the stuff that they brought out. I think they basically brought out 10 lumps of silver, each with 1,000 coins in it, 2 cannons, and a few other things. So this is a picture of the wreck. It was a sort of a ship flying from Surat, which is near Mumbai, and going across the southern coast of Sri Lanka to the western part, eastern part of India, carrying this lot of coins, which most of the coins had the same mint date. So they were brand new coins which have been minted in some mint in India and filled into bags of 1,000 and put on the board the ship and taken across. I think Clarke recovered 10 and the crew recovered about 10 bags. There were sort of various rumors of other people who have gone there and recovered more of these coins from there. So this is a map of the shipwreck from his book. Here a picture of the anchor that is visible on in that map and the cannons that were there. So this rupee all had the same sort of date, 1113, which is Arabic sort of Al-Hajj age date. So it's about 1701 when you convert it into Common Era. 46th year of Aurangzeb, and the mint mark of cross with 4 dots around it. So each of these coins, if you look, is quite different from slightly different from each other, because actually the flan, the one that is striking the coin, is bigger than the coin. So each coin gets struck at a different part of the flan, and it doesn't get the full image. And therefore you see only part of it. So by collecting up a lot of coins which have different parts, you can actually trace out the full image. The relevant parts of the coin which identify this coin, there must be about 300 coins of this Emperor Aurangzeb, is that it was minted in Surat. The mint name is there. It was minted in the year 1113. That is written on top, and it was of the year 46, the reign 46, written in Hyderabad Arabic. That's why you normally won't read it normally. And then the mint mark. So there is a few coins which I have got from this wreck which are slightly different to this, but maybe 90% or 95% of the coins are of this type. So that's the code has each thing was in a sort of a coir thing, sort of coir bag, which had gone away after it had rotted away. But the coins at the center, when we broke the thing, was practically in state, because the coral had formed around it and protected the lot, but not actually the central coins were, even though they had been in the sea for 250 years, was pretty much intact. And I will, since we are a small crowd, I will send out to you one of these coins, which is in a thing. Please don't take it out. Then there is the lumps. So after in 1961 there were no regulations for maritime archaeology. You could actually take this stuff out. You couldn't take out things from the land which are more than 100 years old, but there was no rules about what you could take out from the sea. So this silver lump was gifted to the Smithsonian by Arthur C. Clarke, and it's still there, and I was able to see it when I visited the Smithsonian. It's not on display, but by requesting you could go and see it in the storage section of the Smithsonian. So he wrote a book with Mike Wilson called Indian Ocean Treasure. It was quite nice that there is another book called Indian Ocean Adventure, which is also written by Clarke, and he was actually writing that during the time that the treasure was formed. So in that, he has a real first-person description of what it was like to hear about the discovery of the treasure. He was not actually there at the site. He was in Colombo at the time it was discovered, but he gives a vivid account of the discovery at the time. And then he followed it up with the same book, I think, with the title Indian Ocean Treasure. So where are the lumps? Unfortunately, some of the lumps, I understand, were sold on C Street and melted for silver, which is unfortunate. One lump is in the Smithsonian, one lump is in what Arthur calls the Clarke Archives, which is the Clarke Archives in UK. It's his brother's house in UK, and it's still there. His brother has passed away now. And the other one lump was gifted to Mendel Peterson, who was the archaeology head of the Smithsonian, who did research on the thing. And when he was passed, I think he had cancer and he died around that time. He sold that thing because it was we were gifted to him personally to Carl Fishmer, who was a wreck diver in Florida. And he, after he acquired this and wanted to make some money from it, came to Sri Lanka in 1992, looking for more of these coins. So he took Arthur diving in 1992, age 75, and Clarke, that was the last time Clarke actually dived in 92. I actually met him just before he went for that dive. Okay. So this is a photograph of Fishmer sort of with a lump of silver and in 92 that he came. And this is that lump of silver. And this was spirited away to the United States by Fishmer. And it was, at that time it was definitely legal because the rules were in place that you cannot take this stuff out. So, but this was taken by him abroad, and he wanted to market it in the US. And then you wonder, he was marketed, he called it the Taj Mahal treasure. Now, why the Taj Mahal treasure? I mean, he had a brochure written up of it, with calling it the Taj Mahal treasure. I mean, Aurangzeb was the son of Shah Jahan, who built the Taj Mahal, but his treasure has nothing to do with it. But it was, the reason is apparent. He, in fact, even put it into a big silver thing and sold it for each coin with this amount of silver. He sold it for about $1,000 each. And I managed to get one for about $100. But it's still on eBay for about $600, $800. Everyone who buys it. It was a lot of marketing. He made a film about the Taj Mahal treasure, so it was a huge highlight of marketing. There's a certificate, which is a whole lot of nonsensical Tamil and Sinhalese written at the border. And this treasure has nothing to do with Taj Mahal. So one wonders why he called it the Taj Mahal treasure, and then it's the reason is what Naveen put on the advertisement, is that he wanted to sell it to Donald Trump to be used at the Taj Mahal casino, which has now gone broke. But he wanted $1 million, I understand, from Donald Trump. He didn't get it. So he was trying to market it for less. And then the next one is the video of him basically trying to sell it in the shop, which you have. All History Channel has a sort of big teledrama called Pawn Stars, and this one, yeah, from there.
How you doing?
So what do you got?
I have a clump of rupees that were minted in 1702 by the son of the man who built the Taj Mahal. They were minted in Surat, India. They went to the bottom of the ocean in 1702 and were recovered by Arthur C. Clarke and his dive partner.
Didn't he write a few books about it?
Yeah, he wrote 2 books about it.
This is one of the most well-documented treasure discoveries in history. Ever since I started working in the pawn business, I wanted sunken treasure. And this is the mother lode. Everything's the real deal here.
Yeah.
You know, they're authentic coins. They're not cast. They're definitely stamped. How much do you want for it?
I'd like to get $700,000 for it.
I really, really want this. I mean, this thing is truly incredible. But tying up $750,000 in one item, It can bankrupt this shop. I want to give you 200 grand for it.
200?
Yeah.
I gotta hold out for more. But, hey, thanks very much.
Sorry to give you business. I mean, you just gotta look at it from my perspective. It's a lot of damn money.
That it is.
I'm a little bit relieved, because if I had to tell the old man I shelled out $250,000, he would have kicked my ass. What we got here?
I got a gold bar I want you to look.
So Mark tried to get $200,000 for that. Actually, that was a very fair price. I don't think the coins basically sell in Sri Lanka for about 2,000 rupees or 2,500 rupees. So basically $20 will get you a coin. So 1,000 coins should be $20,000, not $200,000. So he was asking for much, but then I guess it's out of the country and it's the only thing. So I was very upset that this was out. It was illegally taken out. So I actually got Clarke to write to him and ask him to return it. And he actually wrote, and Fishman replied saying, yes, I'm quite willing to return it anytime. It's not selling here. So Arthur Clarke said, yes, please return it, and asked the Clarke Foundation to pick it up on his behalf. Unfortunately, the state, the Sri Lankan government didn't get involved with that, and I had comments to people saying that why should Sri Lankan government have to bring it back since it was taken out illegally. But that is actually the wrong attitude. And because if the government had got involved with it, got involved with the FBI, maybe he would have got it back. But he never turned up. He never showed up. Oops, can we go to So basically, after Arthur passed away, I asked the executors to see whether they could claim it and do something to get it back. And then I was told that it was not in the inventory, and therefore they could do something. Technically, the government can still act on it because it's a legally taken out item, and there are UNESCO rules to get it back, and somebody has to sort of really push it to get it back. It's still there. Sad. So I did get a hold of a bit of a thing. It's not 1,000 coins, but it's about 25 coins in a lump, which I acquired. So it should be $25,000, right, according to his estimation. I think it must be worth about the same 2,000. I don't want to send that too much around. People who want to look at it can come and take a look. So that's a photograph taken by Dominic Sansoni of that lump. So I want to actually, other thing is just end up with a bit small interview of Clarke, which I did in 2003 when Clarke was, or not Clarke, but HAL 9000 was inducted to the Robot Hall of Fame. So that's a split which says these are photographs I took off the screen, which says this sort of thing has cropped up before and had always been due to human error. And so let's show that. I will go back. One person, the two people I met, I put this as a quiz to the people who like quizzes. Two people I met at that function when Robot Hall of Fame was these two gentlemen here. And how many of you recognize them? They are quite famous. Especially with the movie. What? No. It's related to a movie that has just opened recently. R2-D2 and C-3PO.
We don't know what they're
Yes, they they were there and they were also inducted to the Robot Hall of Fame at the same time. Video editing by my son, Nothing. Voice also dubbed by him. He took my voice out of it.
I'm glad to be able to visit you in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and thank you very much for agreeing to answer a few questions on your views on computers and the information technology revolution.
Fine. I'll answer them, or evade them as the case may be.
What effect do you see in the accelerating development of information technology on the gap between the rich and the poor?
Well, the gap between the rich and the poor, which is largely because of technology, could be narrowed because the equipment is becoming cheaper, and there's no reason why every village in Asia and Africa shouldn't have at least one sort of workstation so that people would come to it. You don't need one in every house or in every hut, but the technology should be available. Whether it's will be or not is another question, depending on politics and economics. But I think that technology, information technology, can reduce the gap. But then it depends on us, will we use it for that purpose?
Do you agree that in the internet age, information should be free, with all of its implications concerning intellectual property and creative work?
Well, more and more seems to be getting free these days, including telephone calls. And the argument about intellectual property, of course, hits me in my pocketbook. If everything was free and you weren't paid for anything, no one would do anything. So there has to be some arrangement for the people who create things should be rewarded in some way, hopefully not in the .com stock.
What nightmare scenarios, if any, do you foresee for the use of computers?
Well, I think we're already involved in one nightmare scenario. I mean, how much of one's day is now spent on email? I find it's absorbing more and more of my time. I haven't let it cut into my sleep yet, but I fear that's inevitable. So that's something which is already being sort of devour our time. And you know, we no longer have any time to think, to meditate. And that's a real problem. So one tends to react to whatever is happening, but we don't have time to sit back and think, well, what should I do? What's the best thing to do?
The promise of technology has often been to lessen the workload of human beings and provide a life of leisure. However, in many ways, people are working harder than ever. Do you think this trend will be finally reversed in the next half-century?
I can't see any reversal. It does seem to be continuing, but it'll hit a limit. I mean, we can't work more than 24 hours a day. I'm terrified that someone will invent a drug or something that will enable us to stay awake permanently. I think that would be the last invention that anyone would ever make. I think we do need sleep if only to sort out our day's activities retrospectively and to download the junk that's accumulated in our hard disks during the day. But information technology and computers, of course, enable us to do so much more. But because of that, we tend to do much more. I've sometimes said that far from being labor-saving or time-saving devices, computers enable us to do 10 times as much in twice the time.
The Time Machine portrays a future where the human descendants become physically, mentally, and morally diminished because they no longer found challenges to overcome. Do you see this scenario as plausible over the next 50 years or even farther out?
Well, the Time Machine was, his masterpiece, and I have a signed portrait of him just above my head at the moment. And he imagined the world dividing into these two species almost. The effete creatures that lived on the surface and were looked after, and all their needs were provided by the workers underground at a terrible cost because they eventually were eaten by the workers underground. It's a terrifying scenario, and you know, it could be possible. At least, but I don't think it will happen because the division is going to be between humans and robots, not between two species of humans.
Until we are technically more capable than we are now, do you see any bans that make sense for the use of information technology?
Yeah. I can see good arguments for trying to impose a ban on certain areas, but I don't think it'll be practical because whatever happens, some ingenious guy in a garage somewhere will do it anyway.
As mankind evolves through the stages of hunting, gathering, agriculture, industry, services, information, what is the next stage on the horizon? That is, when we have exhausted the information stage by robots or AI, during all the mental and physical work that we do now, what would come next?
Well, we can never exhaust information. The universe is infinite in as far as its information content is concerned. In fact, you can take a tiny little bit of knowledge, say mathematics, and even that area is infinite. You can never exhaust that. And so there's no danger of running out of challenges or interesting things to do. But I'm afraid that virtual reality, you know, which is going to be the next big thing, is going to be so much more attractive than real life. People just won't make the effort to do these things, just lie back and enjoy inputs into their brains, and that could very well be the end of the human race. That's an old idea in science fiction, of course. And Lawrence Manning wrote a story again more than 50 years ago called The City of Living Dead, which was about this ultimate stage when we're all the ultimate couch potatoes just plugged in, and our computers feed us everything we want. But then they might get fed up with doing that and then unplug us and that serve us right.
Do you expect the advances in information technology will shed any light on the enduring question of God and Creator?
Well, whether God exists or who created us, of course, are the fundamental questions. And this was somewhat of a famous story, I think, by Frederick Brown, must be half a century ago, when the ultimate computer is built and they ask him, is there a God? He says, now there is. This is Arthur Clarke in Sri Lanka, saying goodbye to my friend.
Thank you for this interview, and I hope we could have the opportunity to continue this dialogue at a later time.
Okay, yeah, and just right. So let okay. So this T-shirt I wore, it was in honor of Arthur Clarke, who also was an epitaph on this thing, was he never grew up. So I thought it was appropriate to wear a T-shirt. Don't grow up. That's on his 90th birthday. And basically, Arthur will remain etched in the memory of all those who were fortunate to know him personally or through his books. His enormous contributions to humanity will clearly be cherished forever. So that's a nice portrait of Arthur. That was taken very close to his last days and on his wheelchair. Okay, that's it.